Finals, here we go. Trap versus Stats. We were just getting ready for the Spanish intro. What that means is that there's a lot of Google Translate going on. So we're just coming up with phrases, coming up with what the hell we're gonna say to introduce these players. We try to do something a little bit different every time. You know, we don't just want to go for the same. You know, we got the player, the Shield of Fire, you know, his Protoss. We got to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. We got to spice it up like a jalapeno.
Exactly, like un taco, you know what I'm saying?
Sí.
Sí.
Soy understand. No.
Sí, entiendo. And aquí tenemos en la esquina superior de la mapa Romanticide ¡E! Aquí tenemos el, oh my god, hold on, I gotta open up. Aquí tenemos el bendice las lluvias bajo el escudo de Corea del Sur. Se han ido sus lentes como todos los Zerg en este torneo. Tenemos el azul, él se llama Stats.
Y apareciendo en una esquina del mapa, ese mapa está en el Romanticide ¡E! Es el jugador Protoss de color que viene de Corea del Sur. Es el comandante del ala, bendiciendo las uvias para los Africa Freaks y haciéndolo por su chico Gemini. Él está mirando y ha mirado a Trap.
Jueves.
Jueves. Huevias.
Oh my god, exactly. Santa Maria. Ay. Here we go as we are getting into this, and we are starting off with a proxy coming out from Trap.
Well, we tell ya, just because these are two standard Protoss players doesn't mean they're gonna play standard.
Exactly. I love this. We are on Romanticide, one of the larger maps in the map pool. It does lead to, to players doing this, to be able to pull this off. Oh my god. It's been so long.
If only Stats countered with a proxy Stargate of his own, then I really feel like I was at home here. But Trap coming up with that proxy robo, something that has been having a little bit of a resurgence. I feel like ever since Parting did in Naim Katowice, we see a lot more Protoss players trying to go for some proxy Immortal play.
Definitely. And just quickly checking the vision. So Stats, he's looking for the proxy. He did scout earlier with his probe. He saw both gases were taken. He saw that there was a pylon missing. He knows that there's something somewhere, and he's doing the best he can to scout all the regular locations. He's scouting to the north, scouting to the south, but he just can't find it. He can't find the proxy.
He turned around.
He did. And
he thinks he's up north.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to look as best he can. Meanwhile,
what is Del Sur?
Meanwhile, we did have a couple of these stalkers. Oh my god, all the units of Trap are going down here.
But at the cost of 5 probes so far, Light. You do not want to take that much damage in a mirror matchup, even if your opponent's going for a proxy, or should I say especially if your opponent's going for a proxy.
Exactly. And I love this. This is the kind of PvP that we know and love. Like, this is, like, if you expand, you die, and right now, both these players, they are well aware of that. They are staying on one base, but Trap, Immortal's done. War Prism, it's going to be coming out.
Hey. Double pylon is something you kind of have to do at this point in Stats. You know something's coming your way. You just don't know what it's going to be. So, yeah, you really got to make sure your production is up and running.
Yeah, he's trying to cover. He's trying to cover all the options, right? He has the stalkers in case like a Void Ray or an Oracle comes into the mineral line. He's got double pylon and 2 shield batteries in case Immortals go up the ramp. But because there's a War Prism and it's going to be double Immortal, then Trap can just bypass the ramp and just go straight into the main.
Yeah, it really does make things a little bit more complicated, the presence of that Warp Prism. Speaking of Warp Prism, Stats has kind of revealed the side a little. Trap is going to be chasing that away for the time being, but this is actually pretty important right now for Trap. He wants to have these sentries across the map at the moment. Wants to hit with everything he's got, but he's stuck at home defending against the War Prism stats.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the Haluk does get into the main base, so Stats is well aware of the building placement here, but regardless, like, he's going in. It looks like he wants to find some damage. There are Immortals at home to defend, so I don't know if Trap is going to find game-ending damage here, but we'll see. We'll see what he can accomplish.
Oh, it comes down to the micro. Of course, this early on, you're not going to have Blink, so, yeah, Trap can absolutely abuse that.
Yeah.
Drop his Immortals like no one's business.
Exactly. He hasn't lost any health whatsoever on his Immortals. So far, he's sending the rest of his army across the map to meet up with his Immortals, and we'll see how he can do here. Ooh, at the same time, Stats does go for a counterattack.
He does, and he can do game-ending damage here on the mineral line, but we'll see how good this fight is going to be. Right now, Trap at a very high advantage here, picking off so many Stalkers. But is that going to be enough for him to go up the ramp? He should have enough. But still, being a little bit hesitant here, and I can't really fault him. Going up a ramp is scary. I don't care how many units you've got.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he will be able to take out some production here. He does have high ground vision with his War Prism. More importantly, nothing here shoots up. There's only a single sentry, so he can't really deter the War Prism, but here we go. A Phoenix does come out.
And a real Phoenix at that, so that War Prism actually has a lot to worry about.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, both players did open up with their Stargates. They are both going into their Phoenixes, and Trap, he does pull back. What's important though is that Trap does shut down the War Prism of Stats, and if Trap wants to, he is free to expand.
Just like so. Just Trap.
Any moment, he has no money.
His minerals and another Phoenix. Yeah.
He has no money for it, but he could. If he wanted to, he could. Just like Stats, and Stats is actually the first to expand.
Yeah, no pressure, Pro, but go when you feel like it.
God damn it.
Oh, I guess we can have the money.
Eddie, hold on, just a little bit.
Is he gonna spend?
There it
is. Beautiful. A marvel of architecture, really.
There we go. So both players, they do end up expanding. It did feel like Trap came out a little bit ahead there, but as we've seen the units lost, Trap, he was able to kill a couple of Stalkers and an additional Adept. Meanwhile, Stats was able to kill more Probes. So yeah, both players taking a little bit of losses in different areas.
Yeah, in the end, I guess I want to favor Trap here. He's ahead in the workers, but I mean, don't underestimate Chrono Boost, right? And meanwhile,
oh my god,
these Adepts do come back in right in time for a Phoenix to pop out. A little unfortunate. But
yeah,
2 probes and not losing any more units.
It's really difficult to find damage here with these War Prisms, just because of the amount of Phoenixes that are already out. Like, they're so fast, they deal so much damage so quickly, and both players did opt to go for them. That is not deterring Stats though. He is pushing out with his army with 3 Immortals. Really risky, but it looks like he will find the proxy.
Finally. Been searching everywhere for it, but now he finally gets to take it out, and I'm just looking at the supply. Okay, Trap is fine.
Oh boy. Yeah, so far he is. What's important is that Trap is a little bit out of position, and Stats is a little bit out of position. Trap is fully aware of where the army is, so maybe he gotta try and catch it out of position, but instead, actually, he turns back around.
Yeah, not liking his chances too much here. He would much rather wait before. You know, his army is a little bit more sophisticated, gets a upgrade or 2 in. And yeah, I mean, considering he's not behind whatsoever, he can totally afford to do this.
Yeah, definitely. And he's even the first player to tech up into a Twilight Council, so we'll see. Most likely he does want to go into Blink. What's interesting is that Stats, not Trap, is the one who is doubling down and going into double Stargate.
Which one is the Wing Commander again?
Exactly, right? Again, Wing Commander is a nickname that Trap got like back in 2014. It's been quite some time. And we do see Stats is the one looking to claim that title from Trap. And we'll see how he does here, because again, it's really cool that we see Trap going into Twilight Council, but if the battle in the sky goes away for Stats, Stats can just CC everything on the ground.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at charge being researched at the moment. I'm thinking, how many Zealots are you going to be picking up here, Stats?
True. That's one of those things we talk about it when it comes to Lings, right? Like, Lings are a good counter to Phoenixes because there are just so many units on the ground. It's really difficult to trade efficiently and pick up all those units with your Phoenixes. So we'll see how Trap decides to engage here. Trap did scout with his Haluk, and he did see both Stargates, so he's well aware of Stat's commitment.
I'm just curious how he's going to build from here. Archons are a very safe bet. Get their splash damage in, and obviously as a massive unit, can't be crowd controlled.
They'd be too thick.
That they do.
So yeah, really nice decision here from Stats. Sorry, from Trap. God damn it.
Names are so similar. They're both in the Freak of Freaks now too.
Yeah.
They're just taking elements.
Exactly.
I don't know.
They want to be the same.
They become a symbiotic rain. Down in Africa. They would be rain if they combined together.
They would. And meanwhile, Stats, he does outmaneuver the army a little bit. He has to be careful not to be cornered though.
Yeah, he's definitely going to win the fight in the sky. He's got many more Phoenixes, but there's no Archon on the ground. Plenty of feedbacks. Okay, actually only 2 feedbacks at the moment. Yeah,
interesting decision there from Trap. I mean, he's got to do whatever he can. And meanwhile, it looks like he's losing so many probes. And again, like, his ground army just can't keep up.
Yeah, just about the wrong time to transfer probes over. A little unfortunate there. There isn't enough anti-air here, so Stats, well, I was going to say he can start lifting up the Stalkers just like so. But before that, he decided, you know what? I do not even care. I'm going to go for more probes.
And 14 probes do end up going down. Trap, he's really struggling to keep up, but finally Blink is about to finish up, and that will help so much when it comes to his ground army keeping up and supporting his own Phoenixes. But we'll see if he goes where he goes from here. I wouldn't be opposed to him throwing down a second Stargate, to be honest, just to catch up, but he is committed to the ground.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things, right, where it's kind of like mutas in a sense. If you know you're behind on the muta count, there's no realistic way for you to really catch up, so might as well just go for something to counter that. Unfortunately, in PvP, it's not quite as clear-cut.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like this from Trap. Like, he knows that all the Phoenixes are down here across the map, so he sends his own Phoenixes, which are in lower number, across the map to try and harass himself.
That's a blind spot. Sats has no anti-air in position whatsoever. Now started panic.
Wow.
Warp in a couple of Stalkers. That's 9 probes.
Oh no,
I think he wants recall too. It does miss a little bit of a recall here, so the already low number of Phoenixes from Trap are going to get even lower. But you know what? That just frees up more supply for him to get more Archons.
I guess...
The Phoenixes fly right under the anti-air Trap.
Oh my god, both players messing up a little bit there. Stats, he does find the remaining Phoenixes of Trap. It looks like he'll be able to take them all out. But what's important is that the Phoenix count of Stats is getting lower and lower, and that was his answer to the Disruptors, which I thought I saw on the way, but I guess not.
Yeah. Maybe
Stats has them.
They were Stats' Disruptors, but now he's getting Colossus? Huh.
Okay.
I don't see too many Zealots here.
Yeah, that would be amazing against Zealots, but unfortunately Trap isn't really committed to them. Charge is on the way, but it's still, only just now started. And now Trap, he's going to the 3rd.
And there are plenty of Disruptors here, but you do have to be careful against Blink Stalkers. Stats using these Purification Novas a bit more conservatively, which you kind of have to do. Don't want to be, blowing your entire magazine, so to speak.
Your load?
Rounds of ammunition. Your load, yeah.
Exactly.
Last time I said blow your load, I think this time, tease me a little, so... I'm trying to find other words to use.
It's fine. You can ignore Dastan. Don't worry about it. All right? Exclamation mark Dastan in the chat, by the way, if he is there. Meanwhile, Trap is harassing quite nicely. He's distracting the main army. Meanwhile, his Stalkers are trying to push into the 3rd. There isn't too much buffer here for the Disruptors, so Stats, he has to be so delicate with his micro here to make sure he keeps his Disruptors alive. What the hell are these Archons doing, by the way? They're just... Wait.
Where'd it come up from? Well, the Warpers will go down, and just a couple of questionable moves, to say the least. Interesting rally, is what I'll say.
Yeah, because of the Sim City, they were a little bit awkward just running around. They weren't able to get too much damage done. Meanwhile, ooh, nice blinks.
Will be able to take off the remaining Phoenixes, and while Stats isn't really going to be able to use them too much in the main fight, he was really utilizing them as a way for her to harass and try to keep himself ahead of Trap. Now Trap is way ahead in the pro count.
That he is.
Stats is a much better army.
He does for now. What's important is that Trap, he is embracing the Sky Toss. He's throwing down 2 additional Stargates and a Fleet Beacon, looking to go into that Sky Toss army. And if he does get there, like, he will have a much superior army compared to that of Stats. Stats has got a bunch of Colossus, Immortals, and Disruptors. What the hell is that going to do against Carriers or Tempests or Void Rays?
Nothing. Practice.
Nothing, mate, nothing. But Trap needs time. He needs time to really get his production underway, and Stats is being pretty aggressive right now, trying to catch out the Stalkers of Trap.
Oh, but is he out of position? And the Stalkers blink right on top of the Disruptors, but they get caught in between every. There are currently 6 Colossus out.
That's too much.
In a PvP?
You gotta stop, mate, at this point. But what's important is that Trap actually killed every single Disruptor, so now it's only Colossus here as the backbone of his army. Here we go. Tempests are on the way for Trap, and they will do additional damage to these Colossus, 2 massive units in the air. And this is worrisome, but again, Tempests, they take a long time to come out.
They absolutely do, and they're also fairly slow. They can be vulnerable to a good blink coming out from Stats or 2. It's all about the positioning right now for Trap.
Yeah, exactly. And you could argue even that maybe Trap should have kept them hidden. Because he just showed his hand when he had 2. He already loses 1 of his Tempests as well to the Blink Stalkers. At the same time, a massive Zealot run by an entire mineral line worth of probes does go down.
Stats is just a master of finding a blind spot in this game.
Oh,
and
God.
he has been causing so much harassment. Redundant Zealots charge right into Archons and Colossus. That has got to be painful.
Exactly, you don't want to be there. Even using these stasis units to his advantage, Stats is kind of forcing a choke point, and now Stats is pushing on forward. Once again, these Tempests, they're not doing anything whatsoever. Another one gets picked off.
And the Disruptor will finally come in. Purification over the land, and I am baffled. Like, Stats made 6 Colossus in the PvP.
And he made it work.
And he made it work, yeah.
GG. Trap being a little bit too greedy there. He was trying to skip a bunch of tech and go straight into Skytoss, and a maxed out army with Skytoss is honestly insane. It's what you want. But he was, trying to rush there a little bit too quickly, and he was caught with his pants down, where his main army couldn't really keep up with the massive robo army of Stats.
Stream is just catching up to that point, which I absolutely love. It's Trap's Stalkers blinking forward into every angle of the Colossus and being shelled away by the Colossus from every angle. I guess is a better way to word that.
Yeah, look away. It's not a pretty sight.
Look away, Protoss players, but also Protoss players, look at it. Oh.
Exactly. The beauty of PvP right there, as Stats takes the lead.
He does 2 more games, and he is going to be the next ESL Open Cup Asia. No, wait, ESL Open Cup number 63 Code Asia champion. There you
go, mate. And we are loading into game number 2. It is going to be on Oxide.
LE! We be oxidizing, we be breathing. And in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. He is coming down from the land of South Korea. I gotta be honest with you, lad. I was having to do another Española intro, and then, because, we have different players that were joining the side, but I was like, you know what? Google Translate would take too long. He is coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be blessing the rains.
Down under.
Himself, he is representing a freak of freaks, Stats.
Are you free?
Africa TV.
Exactly, and in the bottom left, also representing Africa TV, Africa Freaks, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red. He is currently down 0-1 in this best of 5 series. Can he bring it back? Aquí tenemos, we have El Trap.
You know, Chaos Born Serenity. I did have a theory that I was explaining to Steel, and I don't think he really quite grasped it. But here it goes, right?
All right.
Archons.
Right. Yeah.
They're force fields that move.
Okay.
And they also hurt.
Right.
So a frozen Archon, that is... I see no difference between a frozen Archon and a force field.
You need to get your eyes
It's
checked.
Immobile. It's immobile. It can't attack. Like, really.
If you see no difference, then something's wrong here. You need to do something about that. All right? I worry. I worry for you.
What difference does it have functionally?
Functionally, I mean, one, you got to rely on your opponent to actually freeze your Archons, right?
Right, but once they're frozen...
Yes. Once they're frozen, they're actually pretty OP. Like, honestly,
there we go.
you
can't bile down Archons.
Exactly, you can't bile them down. You can't break them in any way, shape, or form. Stats was using them like impeccably. It was really impressive to see. Shout out to Chaos Spawn Serenity for pointing it out, and it was beautiful.
It really was a I meant to do that moment from Stats.
Well, it happened by complete accident, but you know, it just worked out. Harnessing his inner patience there, if you will.
Yeah. Coming down a little bit into the Y-axis.
Yeah, just a bit, just dipping his toes.
Yeah. Still very much secure in the X-axis.
For now. Speaking of, Trap once again being a little bit cheeky. So in game number 1, Trap was the one to go for that proxy robo, if you recall. And now in game 2, he's got a sneaky Stargate on the way.
Yeah, not proxying it too well. I say not proxying it, but considering the locations of the main base here on Oxide, that is significantly closer to the other side of the map.
Yeah,
than
definitely.
Putting it somewhere near to your Nexus.
And it has been hidden from Stats. Stats was unable to scout it. Stats is not aware whatsoever of what Trap is going for. For all he knows, it is another proxy robo. We do see the Oracle is sneaking in, and yo, he could snipe the sentry.
No, sentry's too OP.
Get it!
Not Luke.
What?
Actually, probably the best thing he could have done.
Wow.
Oh, miscalculating by only a second. Trap did. But a second was all Stats needed to hunt down that Oracle with his stalkers.
Yeah, that's GG.
Honestly, yeah.
Meanwhile, we do have the Haluk that was thrown out there by in the last dying breath of that sentry. He gets a full scout of the main base, and Trap losing an Oracle for a single sentry. I'm sure he wanted a lot more than that.
He definitely did. He wanted to get a bunch of probes, maybe get some more scouting done, go into the main base, and confirm that Stats is going for a Twilight Council first. That was a very early forge. Jeez.
Yeah. Both players going towards their +1. Both players going towards their blink as well. So unlike Cyan versus Trap, we do have both players for the most part in sync with what they want to go for with their army compositions, with the way they want to approach this game. So far mirroring each other.
But Stats just a little bit faster.
Oh yeah.
At least when it comes to the Robo.
I mean,
Forge.
A lot of that has to do with Trap investing in the Stargate, right? Like, and not doing anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy. But again, it isn't the largest of deals. Obviously, Stats is slightly ahead, but it isn't enough to completely snowball. So Trap does have some opportunities to make some moves happen and to equalize.
What he's trying to do?
Just
kidding.
He's got some adepts. He wants to maybe shade in, maybe deny or delay the third.
But unfortunately, Stalkers are going to be too much of a deterrent here. And we're going to get a little bit of a longer game. Stats I imagine wants to go into Colossus again.
Maybe. It was really odd of him to go for that,
not
but
with Blink.
I mean, it worked out well for him. To be fair,
It really did.
And if you recall, last game he had Blink as well. I think, maybe.
Actually, he did. Yeah, he went Blink into Charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, really interesting decisions there. I mean, it worked out for Stats in the end. Meanwhile, Stats, he does have map control. He is pushing out into the center of the map. Does have his War Prism as well, looking to try and apply some pressure here at the third of Trap.
And definitely get quite a bit done. There's a bit of a window of opportunity at the moment where he does have the upgrade lead. If you can catch a couple of these Stalkers off out of position, it's going to be absolutely huge. Stats really asserting himself onto the army of Trap, completely cuts it in half. He's attacking everything he's got. That Immortal, the saving grace of Trap, not even a factor in this fight.
Exactly. Overcharge gets used, but immediately the shield battery does get focused down, and Stats was able to use, only for like 10 seconds did he have an upgrade advantage, but he was able to hit that window, hit that timing. Immediately the Immortal does go down, and mate, from here he can just keep going. Oh, he just barely keeps the War Prism alive.
Just not enough anti-air here for Trap. All comes back to that Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the Oracle. It comes down to so much here as the War Prism does have 4 HP, slowly gathering up those shields. Trap, he can't do anything. He blinks past, he's trying to get the War Prism, but he can't get it.
Just not enough Stalkers. GG! I thought we were gonna get a long macro game light. Who am I kidding? This is PvP.
Mate, Stats, he smelled blood in the water. As soon as that Oracle went down, he went for it, mate. He knew.
He's got some shark DNA in him.
It's part Demi, mate.
He is.
Aye. And with that, Stats is already up 2-0 against Trap.
Who had such an impressive series against Cyan.
They did. But you know what? Cyan is no Stats, mate.
He really is not. Cyan is... I'm trying to think of a Marvel character, but well, a comic book character in general. I'm like, a Blue Lantern? Question mark?
Blue Lanterns are pretty cool.
Yeah. But they're no Nick Fury, so.
True. As we are going to be getting into game number 3, I was also trying to think about Marvels. Like, kind of equal to what Cyan would be. I don't know, man. I don't know enough about Marvel.
No, right, to be honest. I just watch
Blue Lantern's DC. What are you on about? I just realized.
Blue Lantern is DC. That's why I'm like, yeah. That's why I'm like, if I don't have to go Marvel, then Blue Lantern? Question mark? Anyway, speaking of blue, here is our player. That is blue, playing Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold. And if he wins it now, then he brings home the gold. Every single pillar of it. He is gonna be representing Africa Freaks. Are you free?
Down in rain.
What?
You heard me.
The CEO of S.H.I.E.L.D. of Ire. He is Stats.
Yeah. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, the player who wants to be in rain, but he is also on Africa Freaks. We have the South Korean Protoss player. It is Trap. Oh boy.
I mean, it's kind of fitting. We did kind of glance over Rain when we mentioned him earlier on.
We did.
We have a quota to meet.
It's one of those things where Rain, he was the best of not just both worlds, best of every world, mate. All axes combined.
All axes in StarCraft 2. He could proxy, he could defend, he could be aggressive, but also in brute war.
Exactly. Every kind of StarCraft, mate, and boy,
they ever make a Warcraft 4, I imagine he'd also be getting that.
Yeah. Rain would be there. He would be there, mate. And Stats is looking to take that mantle. I would say that Stats, he is pretty reminiscent of what Rain was back in the day. Stats being that shield of ire. And so far that shield, it's just so solid. It just cannot be broken by his opponent. Trap has been trying. He's been pretty aggressive so far this series in multiple different ways. He just can't catch a break.
He needs... Yeah, that's the thing where he's trying to attack the shield, but I feel like he should go around the shield. He kind of tried to do that in game number 1, but I feel like he didn't commit too hard to his proxy. I mean, part of that was also because... Well, part of that was also because he knew that Stats was going to be defending against it, but at the same time, you know, why not go for something a little harder?
Yeah, and I mean, now it's kind of too late for something like that. Like, it's too late for Trap to go for a kind of proxy. So far, I don't blame him. It makes sense. Stats is on match point. Trap is playing this out a little bit more standard. There's no, like, incredibly fast Stargate. There's no proxy. There's nothing crazy whatsoever. Trap is just, you know, calming down, and he's going to play out, or attempt to play out a solid game.
Yeah. You know what I think Trap needs? 6 Colossus.
Huh? Yeah? Maybe. You know what he needs, actually. You know what he needs? He needs a Colossus drop. That's what he needs.
He does.
Oh boy. But we'll see. Like, so far, both players are going for the same thing. Trap is actually a little bit faster in terms of all of his tech. Blink and +1, it's already on the way. Meanwhile, Stats, he's just now going to start it.
Yeah, lagging behind quite a bit. We'll see if Trap decides to be aggressive with his advantage over here. I feel like being aggressive against Stats with that is not entirely the right move, but if he could just continue to make himself perpetually ahead, get his bases on time, saturate them when he needs to, just get to his end game a lot quicker than Stats can, then yeah, that could absolutely be a way for Trap to turn the series around.
Definitely. I do think that I like the way that you were phrasing it, not the way that you said it, but about you know, instead of trying to break the shield, instead of trying to break the shield or go around the shield, you move with the shield, right? So I would like it if Trap
inertia.
I like it if Trap was a little bit more tangible, you know, if he was a little bit more defensive. I think that would benefit him a little bit, right? And get into that mid to late game against Stats.
But we'll see if he
that's what he's doing. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. It's actually being a little momentum.
He is. As he has
the game momentum.
Yeah, he's got the proxy pylon out in the middle of the map. He's reinforcing, he's warping in as many stalkers as he can. Stats, he's getting ready for a defense. He does have a shield battery on the way.
But it's not quite there yet. And even if it does, this Nexus will not be available to provide any overcharge whatsoever. Trap is giving Stats a little bit of time, and as we see, that upgrade is going to be evened out fairly soon. Just, there we go.
Yeah, that it is. But Blink is done, so Trap will blink into the main base. Only 4 stalkers, a bit of a hit squad trying to take out as many workers as possible.
And it can also get a lot done over here. Nowhere near enough reinforcements. 6, 7 probes already go down. And it was always a possibility, of course, of having a lot of production depowered. So Sats had to take that seriously, and because of it, couldn't quite get on the map. Now he can.
Yeah, nicely done by Trap. He was able to, you know, he didn't overcommit to anything. Sure, he lost the pylon, right, which I guess does hurt a little bit, but he was able to deal a lot of damage. Trap, he is well ahead in terms of the worker count, but now it is Stats' turn to be aggressive.
And is it gonna get too much done? Not as many probes over here, but yo, he's getting a lot. They can always blink away and tread recall too. There's not a whole lot of StarCraft in position. Trap is bringing them in now, but Stats is just evened up the worker kills.
Oh wow, Stats, he gets the damage done. He blinks in, blinks out, is able to escape. And Trap, he's hot on his heels with an Immortal as well. He's looking to try and maybe do something about this third base. Again, he does have the advantage when it comes to Immortals.
He does. He's got twice the army supply at the moment. Stats really needs to recognize what's coming his way and stay a little defensive. buy himself some more time to maybe get another shield battery out or some kind of maybe just an immortal, some more stalkers, anything.
Trap, he's looking to just keep pushing on forward. Stats, nice force fields for now. He's keeping the immortal at bay, but he needs so much more. He does have a shield battery at his start. He does have overcharge.
But did he pop it too prematurely? Trap blinks right on top of it, and it looks like he's gonna put a point on the board.
Exactly, he pushes on forward, he forces the probes off the line. Stats, a little bit too greedy, probing up a little bit too much, and there it is. Trap takes game number 3.
GG. And you just moved with the shield, but stopped the shield. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Stats
came inert.
Yeah, Stats didn't have any robot production whatsoever. He was just focusing on probing up and actually working on his upgrades. He had +2 on the way. He was throwing down more gateways. He was not ready for a big attack, and even though he was on point with the scouting, like, he just didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where he saw it coming his way. He saw it was gonna hit fairly soon. He just didn't, see it, or I guess see it.
Yeah,
as in didn't quite process what was going his way. Maybe even overestimating his own ability a little when it came to the defense.
Definitely. I see a little bit of zest in that. Again, Zest is the kind of player who he tries to defend with as little as possible and try and get away with that sort of stuff. It's possible that Stats saw what was coming his way and he thought, hey, I got this, right? And just overestimated himself a bit.
Yeah. I definitely see a little bit of zest there when it came to, he wanted to defend with as little as he could and, overestimated what he could get done a little bit. I also see a little bit of patience in that he saw what was coming his way and, just didn't.
Yeah.
But that's why the axes, that's
the axi.
What is plural of axis? Axi? Axes?
The axis.
Axis. They are not mutual. You can. A lot of times, players do have a little bit of each different. A little bit of all of them. Just some of them a little bit more than others. Anyway, we are now continuing on to Light Shade LE, the map named after Adept Shades, but only the red ones. In the bottom right corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right corner, the blue Protoss player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing the Africa Freaks. He is going to be blessing Rain. The Shield of Fire himself. We have Stats.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red, also representing Team Africa Freaks, finally putting a point on the board. Can he keep going? Can he make it all the way to that ace match? It is Trap.
And I like that in game number 3, when the game Trap won, he kind of recognized, you know what? I've tried to go under the shield in game number 1 with that proxy robo, didn't quite work. I tried to go over the shield in game number 2 with that Stargate opening with that Oracle, didn't quite work. Game number 3, I concentrated on everything I had, and I sidestepped the shield. And then I broke it.
There you go. That's all you got to do, mate. And we'll see how he does here. As Trap is looking to be a little bit more aggressive, he is opening up with 2 Adepts, looking to go straight away across the map, maybe shade into the main. Meanwhile, Stats a little bit more defensive with his Stalkers, and he even has a probe ready and waiting to wall off.
Yeah, that classical dynamic that I feel like we always see in PvP. One player is going to be aggressive, one player is going to be defensive. Well, there are times where both players go defensive. Rarely do they ever both go aggressive, though, unless it's a proxy versus a proxy. I'm talking about, opening with Adept or Stalker. Sometimes you see both players open Stalkers. rarely do you see both players go open with adepts, but it does happen from time to time.
It does. And pretty interestingly, Trap, he was actually waiting for the Stalkers to go up the ramp. The Stalkers, though, they just kind of checked over on the right-hand side. They do back off. And we'll see what this probe has in store for us for Trap, as it is being a little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky here in the top right.
Dark Shrine. No.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe he just wants to go in and scout, as he does check the third. And yeah, interestingly, this time Stats is the one to open up Stargate.
Yeah. I was thinking, did he open Stargate so far in the series? I don't believe he did. Maybe game number 1.
In game 1, he did go Stargate. I can't remember if he opened it though. Game 1 was wonky though, because remember he had to defend against the proxy. It was.
It was. Wonky.
Yeah.
That was the word before tangible.
That it was, mate.
Should bring it back.
Oh boy. Meanwhile, I thought the Oracle did get scouted by a Haluk, so it does look like it will sneak in.
And get chased away by the sentries, but Stats, he is early on pulling the Oracles away.
Yeah.
And he's going to be meeting it with another one. Is he going to get 3? I doubt it. He's building into his Twilight Council. He's working on his transition.
Regardless, like, he's playing this out like a bit of a PvZ. Again, I'm surprised that he committed to double Oracles. They do both get revealed by the Haluk.
Well, double Oracle is what you kind of need when your opponent's throwing down shield batteries like so. Actually, a shield battery isn't quite in range, now I think about it.
Yeah, and there's no shield battery in the main base either, so very interesting decision here. Stats has to be careful because he is leaving his Oracle a little bit idle.
Oh. Like so. Oh,
okay.
He gets that out of there.
He does manage to escape. Meanwhile, we did have a couple of adepts across the map, but Stats does clean them up as, Trap, not spending his resources on tech, instead going into a third.
Okay, a little bit of a risk that he's taken here, but he wants to go into a bit of a logger game. He doesn't want to say that he can only beat Stats in timing attacks. He also wants to say, yeah, I can take it to a long game.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised, not gonna lie. Like, he's skipping his Robo, his Forge, his Stargate, everything to get a much faster third base, and so far, Stats hasn't scouted it. Trap, he is getting away with it for now, and yeah, Stats, he gets his own third much later.
Definitely is. But as you pointed out, his tech is a lot quicker. His +1 is going to finish up long before Trap can get his own ground army upgrades. If Stats decides to go for a time attack, which he probably will, now that he's scouted the third base timing, it is going to hit real hard.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love this. Like, Stats, even though the Oracles were revealed earlier, it looks like they are dealing some damage. Ooh, nice blink.
Now the Oracle's trapped. I just realized what I said. Unintentional.
It is trapped, as one of the Oracles was taken out. The other one is kind of stuck in that dead space. Trap does leave some Stalkers here to deal with it. Meanwhile, the move command!
That's always a risk you're taking when you're moving in the middle of the map, unlike Shade. And because of that, Trap is taking a little bit of an advantage, but Stats, I think he has the numbers on his side. Yeah, he had less sentries, but he had more Stalkers. And more Stalkers equals more damage. Doesn't really matter if you have Force Fields or even Guardian Shell at this point.
Yeah. Really, Stats, he meant to move command to kind of give Trap a full sense of security, allow Trap to actually overextend, blink on forward, and that allowed Stats to kind of take advantage of the situation. He does move on forward across the map. He spots the early third base, and now Trap, what does he have? Nothing.
He has a G key that he hit twice. GG. GG, my god. And Trap is something so impressive going into the series.
Yeah, but you know what? Not impressive enough, as, oh my god, I just typed that in the wrong chat.
Oh.
There we go. Actually typed it in the Ducklings chat. But yes, Stats does take down Trap 3-1 in a beautiful game there. Trap being a little bit too greedy, and he was, again, he overextended. He had like a nice little advantage, and you know, he was being a little bit aggressive in the center of the map, but after he lost everything there, then it just kind of snowballed.
Absolutely dead. You know, Stats, he had the inertia, the snowball. No, he had the momentum. Trap didn't have to. Look, it doesn't matter. It's a new week. You have to find a new vocabulary word to use.
Yeah. There you go. Congratulations, Stats. Regardless, I'm sure Afrika Freaks are very happy as both of their players were the finalists. Both Trap and Stats representing their team well there. But Stats does come out on top in the end. And honestly, like, a lot of people looking at the bracket probably thought that that was going to be the case just because of how good Stats was looking in Stay at Home Story Cup.
Yeah, honestly. I honestly had a couple of my own doubts. Thought Stats, you know, he looked really, really dominant in Stay at Home Story Cup. That was some very, very good form he's shown. But is he peak Stats? Not quite yet. But I imagine he's saving it for GSL. Which, if I'll just quickly check, see when he plays his match out.
This will be on March the 29th.
There we go, next week.
Next week, indeed. Of course, that does mean that it will be clashing with ESL Open Cup Asia if ESL Open Asia does stay on Mondays. So Stats will not be playing in this weekly next week. He will be busy with the GSL, but he is looking so good right now. I'm pretty sure everyone's looking at him to be a favorite to make it into Code S.
Yeah, poor buddy. He's his opponent next week.
Yeah, feels bad, man. Oh boy, oh boy. But with that, thank you everyone for tuning in today. We had a lot of beautiful matches. It is a bit of a shame, you know, there were a couple that we were looking forward to, and you know, me and Micah did miss it.
So, exclamation mark Funara, me and Micah once again in the chat, but actually not as many PvPs as I thought.
There were a lot of PvPs, but we missed them as they were all...
we didn't cast them, yeah.
Yeah, they were all...
We outsourced it to Renegade.
We did. Renegade was stuck with all the PvPs. They were all in the upper half of the bracket. We focused ourselves on the lower half of the bracket instead. But in the end, of course, we did still get our weekly dose of Korean PvP action. Oh.
We salute you for your service, Renegade. I don't think anyone comes out of casting that many PvPs with the same sanity, mental state. Yeah. Give your energy to him. Thank him for his services. And with that, we are done for the day. I also did want to give a quick shout out to Cyan. Again, like, not a lot of people were looking at him to really make it as far as he did, and taking down Nightmare in that fashion and making it to the semis and earning some prize money as a result was really impressive. I have just look at the bracket once again. He took out Nightmare, which to me is the major feat, because Nightmare is a PvP, really a PvP god at this point, honestly. But before that, he also 2-0'd Maxed.
Yeah, and Maxed's been looking really good recently as well.
Has he also? Was it a couple of weeks ago he took out Dark? To be fair, it's a bit of a different matchup, but still. Max had somebody from the Chinese scene you can never underestimate, you can never count out.
Yeah, definitely. So that was very impressive, very nicely done by Cyan. I can't wait to see how well he does in his own dream hack for his own regional Chinese events that will be later on this year. But yeah, really impressive so far by Cyan. Hope to see more of him next week. Hope to see more of the other Southeast Asian players as well. You know, shout out to Ranger for showing up this week. Me and Micah for signing up. I'll make sure to ping him next week and make sure that he's actually paying attention.
No. You're gonna make sure to ping him in a couple of hours. He has to make up for today.
Shaking my head, Mia. God damn it. But yeah, it was a great day of StarCraft. Great to be back with you again, Yaku. And speaking of Yaku, where can people find More of you.
In Microsoft Word. Next next week or so.
Feels bad, man.
Feels pretty bad. But if I do go live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1, I will probably announce it at twitter.com at @Yakuzaku, because it's going to be fairly sporadic if I decide to stream. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat. I'll probably also put it there in stream promotion. The CranKy Ducklings Discord server. Apart from that, buy my shirts. We're going to find you, Light.
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter if you want to follow me there. I do stream occasionally throughout the week. I've been neglecting some ladder streams recently, so I will get back into them as soon as possible. Also been playing some Final Fantasy in my off time, but yes, you can follow me there if you wish to tune into some of that ladder, to some of that behind the scenes.
How was the House of Madness?
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it's really cool to get together with the Ducklings and work on like some raid progression and stuff like that. And not too serious either, as it is of course just in Final Fantasy. It's a lot of fun.
Hashtag proper Yaku.
Yeah, there you go. And with that, we will be back in just.
I forgot. You can also find me over at Spotify at Los Yakuzakus. That is not me.
That's not you.
I actually have to say that's not me for like legal purposes.
God damn it, yeah. God damn it. We will be back in 11 hours with ESL Open Cup America. Sorry, not 11 hours. 10 hours due to daylight savings. As I quickly change that, there we go. So in 10 hours, we'll be live. I'll be casting that with Milk and Cookies. So if you want some more ESL StarCraft action, we will be there with that. Between those two broadcasts, there is also ESL Open Cup EU. We do not cast that as we don't have the staff for it to just keep the stream running. But if you want to tune into ESL EU, then that will be in just 4 hours. So you have some time to take a break, get some food, get rehydrated, and then dive into ESL Open Cup Europa once that goes.
One day we'll have a streamer under our wing who's in that time zone.
One day. Not today, but eventually. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want to help support the StarCraft community, then we will be raiding an SC2 streamer. We will be raiding Vivid, so give him plenty of love.
Ooh, not Hush.
Not Hush. The Australian Zerg player Vivid, as he's streaming right now. So yeah, give him plenty of love. He's a great guy.
Yeah, old mate Vinny.
And with that, thanks everyone for watching. See you tomorrow.